Welcome back to our newest interview series on the Queen Sports Network, Inside the Lions Den. I am Maya Forbes here with Rachel Perrett from the Women's Lacrosse team. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So we're just going to get right started. Can you tell me a little bit about how you started getting into lacrosse, how you started playing, and why?
Yeah. Honestly, I grew up in Virginia, and in Virginia, lacrosse is pretty popular. And the kids I used to play with outside, they started playing lacrosse when they were little and they were younger. And so I would play with them just in the cul-de-sac that we used to live in, and I just fell in love with it. I played multiple sports before then, and I quit all those sports, and I started playing lacrosse probably around 7th or 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So what's your major?
I'm majored in elementary education, and then I'm getting my master's degree in educational literacy.
Okay, so how have you been dealing with online classes and transitioning from being in person a little bit last semester
Mm-hmm.
and totally online this semester?
Honestly, my last senior spring semester, I took all online classes because that was what was only offered for me to finish my degree. So transitioning really wasn't that difficult because the entire semester I was already doing online classes. I do miss being in person with my professors because I really do love them, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so I know that your season was cut short last semester due to COVID and everything that's been going on. You guys were doing pretty well. You were starting all your games. You were
Mm-hmm.
going hard at it. So can you tell me how that felt to have your season cut short?
Honestly, I just got chills you saying that. I was completely devastated. I still don't even believe that happened and that happened to all the athletes. It was absolutely heartbreaking. We worked so hard and we were destined for that national championship game, and it was absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, I can imagine because I'm going into my senior year this year, so we'll see how that
Right.
happens.
And you guys are playing too.
Yeah, we are. We're supposed to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, what were you able to do during quarantine to keep yourself active and busy?
Honestly, I ran a lot. I was so upset that our season ended that I just ran for days. I ran every single day, many miles every day, just to use it to get out of the house, but also to hopefully stay in shape. Didn't know that I was coming back during quarantine though, so that process took a little bit. But I definitely ran a lot. That's just really all I did.
Were you able to play over the break?
Not really, because the fields were closed, so couldn't really use any I couldn't use any field to pass around or play. So I didn't really get to pick up my stick, but I definitely worked out.
Okay. So during that time, what was your team doing to kind of stay connected with all of you guys being apart?
We have these things called grind groups, and so they're groups of 6 girls on our team, and we make a group message, and so we're texting each other to keep each other accountable. Our coach sent out us a workout packet, and so we're hey, I ran my 2 miles today, what'd you guys do? So we did a lot of that communicating through just group messages. We also have a team group message that we all talk into to stay connected. But it was nice to be able to keep each other accountable at what we could with what we could do.
Mm-hmm. So what were your team goals last season, and do you think that they will transition into this new season coming up?
Well, team goal was definitely to go to the national championship game because we were projected to go. That was happening, and I think that everyone returning from last season knows that that's the goal and that's where we want to be, and we also know how to get there. So I feel if we can just do it again, most of us are coming back. If we do it again, we're winning that national championship game.
Okay. Now you mentioned before that you are in grad school. Can you tell me a little bit about how you feel like you'll be ready for this upcoming season? Are you motivated from what happened last season? Tell me how you feel about that.
I'm absolutely motivated to come back hot. I was so heartbroken that our season ended. I'm ready to go, and I'm so glad that we are having a season and that Queens is taking the protocol they need to for us to have one. And I'm ready, and I'm ready to do it with my teammates, and I think my teammates are ready to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think being a grad student is a little different because my schedule is different than everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything in the day. my classes are at night because people who get their master's in education are typically teachers, so like they're at work every day. So
Okay.
for me, that's kind of hard just because I am on a different schedule than every one of my teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Um, would you, oh, let me start over. Do you have any advice for any incoming freshmen with, coming out of quarantine and coming into the season, and just any general advice you have for starting at the collegiate level?
Absolutely. One thing that I definitely learned after we got cut short and like got sent home is to never take anything on the field for granted. So
Mhm.
like yes, going to 6 a.m. practices were not ideal, but I would do it again and again and again if I to like play lacrosse. And
Yeah.
so I think like just stepping on the field, and it could be your last practice, honestly. Like we didn't know that day that Queens was going to shut down, and we
Mhm.
had that last practice, and we all had a feeling it was going to happen, so we all played like super hard at practice, like we knew it was our last. And for like my senior class, who like did the girls who didn't come back, like that was their last practice, and like that whole week, like no one knew that that was going to be our last practice. So I honestly think like never take anything for granted. The lifts, the workouts,
Mhm.
the things you do with your teammates, like
Yeah.
it's never promised.
Okay, well, those are all the questions that I have for you. I want to wish you luck on your upcoming season and with grad school.
Thank you.
Thank you for sitting down with me today.
Of course, thank you for having me.